Welcome to Windermere! And we've had a fantastic time here in Windermere, in the Lake District. And there is so many things here to do. However, most people, when they do come here, it is more about the hiking or the cycling, as there are some fantastic walks you can go on, cycle paths for you to explore the fantastic countryside here in the Lake District. These beautiful hills, mountainous areas are absolutely beautiful to see. And if you are coming here, this is like the main thing you really should try to do. However, there are things to do if you're not really that keen on hiking. This is still a great place to visit, and you can still get the best experience for English countryside here as well. As I say, there are other things other than just hiking and cycling. Here in Windermere anyway, there is a massive lake. I think the biggest open lake in the UK. However, I could be wrong about that, so don't quote me on it. There are many boat rides and many cruises that will take you around the entire lake, where you can stop off in other villages and other towns as well. You can eat on the boats, or you can just take a ride. You can do rowboats or a cruise where you can just mostly focus on seeing the sights as well as enjoying some food or taking photos, as this place here is very picturesque. Also here in Windermere, there is a church you can visit. The church is very open. We didn't actually have time to go in there, but you can walk in there. You can have prayer or just some silent time, or just to see its architecture to help yourself understand English culture better, and just to experience church life here in the UK. I say I don't have any footage of that because we never went in there, but it does look like a gorgeous church from the outside that looks very old and still seems to have kept its original structure. Also here in Windermere, if you're a big fan of Peter Rabbit, we have the World of Beatrix Potter here, which is a very cute, beautiful little museum filled with all the characters she created. I did feel that it was a little small. I think the admission we paid was £9 per person, and I did feel it was a little small for that, but it was still absolutely magical if you're in there. And if you're a big fan of her work, then you'll probably definitely will enjoy it. All the stuff in there was fantastic to see, and you really did feel like you was in her world. They really did create this museum perfectly to represent her and her work. If you want to get out of Windermere itself, if you're here for some time and you want to explore other places, there are loads of other little towns around the lake which you can go to, which also have other activities that you can do. Down in the south part of the lake, there is an aquarium you can visit as well. We didn't go there, but I did see it online. Also in the south, they have an old style steam locomotive which you can ride, I guess, at certain points of the year. It's not open all year round, so you'll have to make sure when you're coming here that it is open during that time. Up towards the northwest of the lake, there is Ray Castle. Again, we didn't have time to go and explore that. We just wasn't here for enough time, but it definitely means there's more here to do, and we definitely do want to visit again. Ray Castle, which from the pictures I saw, it doesn't look like an ancient castle, but it does look like a fun little museum you can go to and check it out. So as I was recording outside near Lake Windermere, my card got full, so I was unable to continue recording, so I've had to, and I didn't have my spare card with me, so I'm going to continue doing the rest of this in the hotel. But anyway, talking more just about the town Lake Windermere itself, it's a fantastic little town. Just wandering around town, you can see loads of old styled buildings as well. And there's plenty of shopping here and bars and restaurants to chill out and relax in during your break here. This town is has a huge variety of different food, from Thai, Indian, Chinese, Spanish, French, as well as traditional British food. So you're not going to be stuck for choice on what it is you want to eat. Some restaurants you will need to book first. However, the pubs and bars, you can just tend to go in there and sit down and order straight away. And if you're looking for the most cultural experience in, say, like the shortest amount of time, which is what I'm usually trying to do, then what I would suggest here in Windermere is going on a hike, which is to see the beautiful views and the landscape. as well as maybe taking a boat cruise or just walking around the lake, and then maybe finding a pub somewhere to try some of the local ale and food. A lot of the food here is locally sourced, so even walking around we had like locally sourced ice cream with the ingredients here from Cumbria, and the vegetables and the meat also comes from around. So we had some amazing food with locally sourced ingredients. But for more traditional, Cumbria, since Windermere is in the Lake District and the Lake District is in Cumbria, then you can try the Cumberland sausage, which is a huge sausage and a very delicious sausage. I believe it's about 80% pork. We didn't have the huge one when we had breakfast, we had the small one, but it's a huge sausage and I think the small one was more than enough for me. So once you've eaten Cumberland sausage and maybe some other stuff here to go with it, they're also very famous here for sticky toffee pudding, which is absolutely delicious. And the bar we went to eat dinner, where we could have also had Cumberland sausage there, but we didn't. We had pie with fish and chips. The sticky toffee pudding was amazing, incredibly delicious. And we also got a Windermere ale. They assured me that it was brewed locally. I didn't see any breweries around here, but I took their word from it. But even if that one's not as local as they were claiming, I believe Cumbria has lots of local breweries for you to try, plenty of ales in any of the bars here, so you can get a great cultural experience this way. If you aren't so big on hiking, but you do want to experience the views, then we have the perfect suggestion for you. But luckily here in Windermere, there is a fantastic, very small hike. So if you're an experienced hiker and you love hiking, then this isn't really going to be enough for you. However, if you're new to hiking or you just want to see some beautiful views around this area, then we went on a hike to Orrest Head. It's a beautiful little walk. It doesn't take too long. If you're taking photos and videos, maybe it will take just over an hour. If you're not taking photos and videos, you're just here for the experience, you could probably do this in like 30 minutes. If you're taking photos and videos like we do, where we do a hell of a lot, it could take 2 hours. So depending on what you want. But when you're up there, the view of Windermere is incredible. You can see much of the lake and parts of the village from this location. You can get amazing photographs. It was quite windy when we was up there. My drone was struggling a little bit, but it still looked fantastic. And this is a great little hike. As I say, if you're an experienced hiker, you'll be able to find much more longer hikes along this journey and in this beautiful countryside. If you're not that much of a hiker or you're just getting into it, then this is a great start with a very good reward at the end of the hike. So getting around here, we drove here, but we didn't really go to any of the other towns. However, if you did, you don't need to drive. We saw a bus service with all the stops, and it goes around the entire lake, or at least partly, and you can jump on many buses that eventually we would be able to go around the entire lake. So you don't need to drive to get around here, or hike or cycle. You could just take the buses to the other towns as well. We got here by car. However, there is a train line that comes here. I'm not entirely sure where. I don't believe it comes from London anyway, but most likely from, say, like maybe Manchester or York. But there is a train station, and you would just need to find out how to get which train actually comes into Windermere. This is a very popular town because of the train station, so it's very easy to get to, and I'm sure there are coaches that also come here as well. So the town is quite built up for tourism because it is an absolutely beautiful area. As for staying here, we saw a couple of signs that said no camping allowed, which means I'm sure some people come here looking to save money on hotels and stuff and camp somewhere. Now, there were a couple of signs saying no camping in this specific location, which suggests to me that other locations is okay for camping. So just keep an eye out that could potentially be an option about the camping. But in terms of hotels, it is expensive here. We're staying in a very cute house that seems to have been built a long time ago, but has obviously been refurbished for in the last few years. It's very well decorated, it's very comfortable, and the house is very nice. But unfortunately, Lake District is expensive, and even looking further ahead into random dates in November, so booking in good time, it's still looking at like over £100 or just below £100 to £100 per night for your stay here. We didn't find too much cheaper places. However, if you do look around on different booking apps or maybe Airbnb, there could always be cheaper options, and sometimes you can either get deals on whether it's like an app only deal or if it's like a website only deal. So make sure you look around to find the best prices. So I highly recommend Windermere as a great introduction to come to the Lake District. This is the first time I've been to the Lake District, and I can't wait to come back again, as it's such a big area and there are so many places to visit with absolutely beautiful landscapes. I'm a little disappointed how we was only here for such a short time, but we got to keep on moving. If you do come here in your once in a lifetime trip to the UK and you're only spending a short time here, I do recommend that short cultural experience, the hike, the food, and maybe a walk around the lake. If you've got more time here, then I definitely suggest going to other little towns to really get the full experience and see all the different kind of landscapes here in the Lake District. But that's all I have to say about the Lake District. And anyway, as we say in the UK, see you later, mate.